But now let's talk about DUI stories, because it seems like you said you had more than one.
I've had 2.5.
Okay. Oh, okay.
So
That's a fun tease.
I got a good lawyer, you know.
Yeah. Okay.
The third one was just the tip.
Yeah.
No, so I started drinking and driving at a young age.
Nice.
I lived in like a small town. It just wasn't a thing that was whatever, you know. So I just kind of, you know, everybody drank, you drove, you know, in high school. And then I went off to college and I went to Clemson. And it was just this place that just didn't give DUIs. Like it was like I would get pulled over like in a costume and the beer in a cup holder, and they'd be like, make it home safe. You know,
they used to do that. They'd be like a follow you home police.
Yes,
kind
or
of,
maybe
you know?
if you were just belligerent, they'd like put you in the drunk tank, tow your car. Like no one I knew got a DUI. So I just kind of grew up very like drinking and driving's fine, whatever. I'm great at it, you know?
Right,
like, and so like I was always the one that was like, I'm blacked out, I'll drive. It's great. And like,
Me too. Friends.
like one night I hit a car that I didn't remember. And so I woke up to the cops were at my house and were like, you know, you were involved in something last night. And I was like, prove it, you know? And like later it turned out that someone did see it. They wrote a note. And then a friend of mine was like, oh, you just got that new Xterra. Yeah, we saw you like crush that BMW that night. And I was like, what? Don't
You're
remember
like Jordan
it.
Belfort
I don't remember
leaving
this,
the
but
I
that's
country
exactly
club.
what I was thinking of.
But I like
He's
turned it
I'm
around.
fine.
I was able to turn it around on the with the cop, and it was very. I used to have the biggest balls back then. So anyway, I'm obviously not endorsing drinking and driving, but I moved to Atlanta right after college. I mean, I got DUI within a month because like you can't do that.
Yeah.
You know, like you can't just run around.
I'm not
blacked
endorsing
out.
DUIs, but I've gotten several, and I have a hit podcast. So
Yeah.
do with
And
that information
literally
what you
everything's
will.
worked out. So
No, it was a dark time. So I got one in October, and then it's such a weird thing. I'm 22 years old. It's such a weird thing when you get, this happens a lot. You get one and you're like, well, what am I going to get another one? You think you're like weirdly invincible. And so I got another one in July. And because the first one hadn't gone through yet, I had this like lawyer that just packaged them together. So I got like one DUI and one reckless driving. And I
Your
was
Honor, she's been drunk for 3 months.
yeah.
but yeah,
Technically,
I mean,
it's the same night.
learn my lesson. This is also pre-Uber. Like the Atlanta cabs are super bad. The parking, like I'm not making excuses, but I just don't. I think if Uber had been around, I would have gotten like 2, not 3. You know what I mean? Like, and then I just like slipped up, and it was like 5 years later. Like just one night, I wasn't even out at a bar. I was like at a friend's, just had too much to drink. Like didn't realize I wasn't like I was like in yoga pants. You know, I
Right.
wasn't. There was still no Uber, and so I got another one. So it was a dark time. I can't make light of drinking and driving.
It's
People
expensive.
die. If you get a DUI
know,
today,
that's-
you shouldn't be getting DUIs. Like Uber is like such a great alternative. Nobody should be drinking and driving.
Right,
People-
or doing walks of shame. Do you know how many walks of shame I had to do because Uber
Yeah.
didn't exist?
5 miles through the snow.
Right, I'm like, I'm out in the country. How am I ever going to get home?
Right.
But I could make jokes about it, you know. And people like get so mad. And they're
Right.
like, they'll DM and they'll be like, I wish Ashley wouldn't joke about her DUIs. I do this bit on stage that she's like, my brother just got in a car accident and ended up in the hospital from a drunk driver. I'm like, well, then clearly he wasn't a good drunk driver. Like, why are you talking to me about this? I've had 3, never had an accident.
No
This is some amateur shit.
I've been caught before I could hit someone.
But no, don't drink and drive. But that's my truth.
It's true. I always say that growing up on Long Island, there was 2 things we did for fun. It was either walk around the mall or just die in a drinking and driving accident.
You just
Those were your
did,
choices.
yes.
Yeah, those were your 2 options.
And when are you
And all my
supposed
friends
to-
hate the mall. So
Wow,
Yeah.
you guys are so diverse.
I challenge you to drive a rear wheel, two-wheel drive Ford Ranger stick shift in the snow, hammered drunk.
Wow.
That was my car.
That's like
I slid down
Black
hills
Diamond
sideways all the time. All the time. And just would gather myself and be like, fucking let's go home.
I think I've told this on the podcast, but my wife and her girlfriends when they were getting hammered and drinking and driving in Connecticut, there was a time where she was in the passenger seat and she remembers when your eyes are closed and some bright light comes that it you could see it through your eyelids where it gets bright, and she opened her eyes and her friend was driving against the guardrail like on the high, like sparks flying up, and then they just started laughing and blasted some 41. Like It was just
Well,
like,
and I again, do not get DUIs are way worse now. The punishment's worse.
Oh,
They cost
yeah.
more. You should not be. It's like I cannot
It's like
say
a minimum
enough.
10 grand.
But I
right?
also I was on a date once and he got a DUI.
Oh no!
on the date?
Yes, we were driving back and he got arrested and taken to jail. And I had to go bail him out of jail. It was like our third date. I was like,
Oh, my-
are you going to pay me back? I don't even like you enough to pay for this. Like, I just paid your bail bond.
Yeah. Oh my God, that's so much. That's like what a night ruiner, huh?
Yeah.
And you're like,
Like,
well,
I thought I thought I was going to get laid that night. And I'm like, oh.
but that's what you can also
You're
say
in
to him
jail.
too. You're like, hey, if you didn't get it, you would have gotten lucky, pal. If you weren't so unlucky, you would have gotten lucky.
Miss you, Nathan.
Dude, I did I ever tell the story about me bailing my friend Peachy out of a DUI in Geneseo? Like same thing. We would just drive my friend Andrew's car. and it-
Geneseo sounds like a place you
So, upstate New York?
What is
Oh,
that?
yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
right outside
Yeah.
of Rochester, and it was like it had like an alfalfa plant, so it smelled like sour mustard shit.
The
all
car
the time.
or the whole
The
town?
entire town. But it was like
The car,
Car
too.
was sprouting. It wasn't very well maintained.
it's just cows, grass, everything. There's nothing. So it is
Right.
a classic drive drunk town,
For sure.
which we used to take advantage of all the time. My friend Andy had a 5-speed Honda Accord that we used to rip around, just
Yeah.
pretending it was a Fast and the Furious car, and we'd be fucking,
Nice.
blackout drunk. And I remember one night my friend Peachy was driving, and we were going to get a Dutch because we had to smoke at 4:30 in the morning. There's no possible way we could have used any number of the pieces that
Like
we
the
had
meth
in the
in the
apartment.
town or something.
Yeah, exactly. So we're driving, and we, of course, get pulled over because Peachy is shit-faced. And the cop comes over, and, it pulls him out of the car immediately because he's fucking bleary-eyed. And I'm like, officer, can you breathalyze me to see if I can take the car back because I don't want it to get impounded because that'll be an extra $900 for him. I was fixated on $900. I don't know why.
It's not that much.
Yeah, and he was like, okay, and he stuck the breathalyzer in my mouth, and I blew, and he looks at it, and he goes, not even close.
Oh, my God.
And so they put Peachy in cuffs, they put him in the back of the cop car, they walk back to us, and they're like, fellas, you got to find somebody to drive this car home. We're going to bring this kid to the precinct, and we're going to circle back and make sure you guys got a ride in about 5 minutes. And we're like, all right, like, we'll figure it out. And the guy drives away, and I just instantly hop in the driver's seat and just fucking Tokyo drift in a circle and
And they
drive right back to
burn
him.
out donuts. You're like, the cop's like, come on, man.
He's like, I respect it. Go ahead.
But you know, when I got an underage drinking ticket, they let me drive away as well. Really? They were like, ma'am, who's going to take you home? I was like, I guess me. There's no one else here to do it.
I know a story of a girl. This was in Atlanta. She went out with a guy. There was a place in Atlanta. I didn't get one of mine there, but it was just like DUI. Like everybody got a DUI. It was this place. The guy she was on a date with got a DUI throughout somewhere in the night, and then went out to jail. She stayed out partying. She got a DUI and saw him later in jail.
That's a commitment to a relationship, you know?
Yeah.
Oh, man. Sometimes just drinking works out,
Yeah.
But it's thick and thin.
Oh man, the biggest justice DUI stop I've ever seen in my entire life was me and my two friends, Tim and Anthony. We got into a fight with these kids in a bar, and it spilled out onto the street. And like my friends, I think I was on steroids too, so it was us just three being fucking absolute silverback gorillas, beating our chests, probably over some dumb bullshit like we touched elbows or something equally as
Gay.
Yeah. So these kids stumble out. They call somebody something. So we run after them. They run into the bank parking lot, and we get there, and they flip on the headlights as we get there. My friend Anthony is punching their windshield. Tim is beating on their door, and they just take off, drive Anthony over the fucking hood of the car. He rolls off, and then it spills out onto Main Street in Nyack, fishtails, heads up Main Street. We all run into the street and go, officer, DUI,
Yes.
and they go whoop whoop, instantly
That's
peeled
amazing.
off and arrested them.
Yeah, that's one of those things too. When people stand in front of cars, they're like, "Hey, stop! What are you?" It's like, well, you're just gonna get
Yeah.
hit. You know what I mean? Like
You're
they're
a
just gonna
skin
drive
person.
over you every time.
This is made of metal.
Yeah.
This is a fun podcast. I wish I would
Thanks.
talk about all this fucked up shit more often.
Do you
Yeah.
not?
But guys, don't drink and drive. I can't say.
Yeah.
That'll be
gonna
the
have to
title
be the
of
name
the
of the
episode.
episode,
Guys,
yeah.
don't drink and
Because people
drive.
come for me, and I'm like, I don't endorse it, but it's my truth. You
I
know?
do.
Yeah.
Guys, if you're gonna do it,
Yeah.
just tell them I sent you.
That's when you wanna make your Irish goodbye.